The knife paused midair, silver hovering over roast duck. Christmas lights blurred as if the room had tilted without asking permission. My wife cleared her throat. Not loudly, not dramatically, just enough to rearrange my life. I filed for divorce this morning. The word filed landed with a paper cut. Clean, administrative, final. Her father laughed first. A full, open laugh. The kind men use when they think they're watching something small die. You'll be homeless by February, he said, raising his glass. I give it 8 weeks. Someone clapped. Then another. I looked around the table, my in-laws in wool sweaters and inherited confidence, and waited for my pulse to spike. It didn't. My wife wouldn't meet my eyes. She stared at her plate like it might defend her. I reached into my jacket pocket, slowly pulled out the black card, placed it on the table. It made no sound. Her uncle, who'd been quiet all night, removed the watch from his wrist. Heavy, old, gold worn thin by decades of leverage. He handed it to the waiter. Charge it to him, he said. The waiter turned the card over, looked at the name. His smile vanished. He leaned forward and whispered 5 words that silenced the entire table. I had noticed the rehearsals weeks earlier, the way my wife practiced sympathy in the mirror, the way her phone never left her hand but never faced up, the way her father suddenly asked questions about timelines and liquid assets, under the disguise of concern. I told myself it was holiday stress. I told myself I was tired. I told myself the tremor in her voice at night was seasonal sadness. Lies are easiest when they sound like care. The first crack came in the laundry room. A receipt folded into quarters. A hotel I'd never stayed in. A night I was supposedly on a business trip, except my calendar said otherwise. I didn't confront her. I archived the feeling instead. When she started using words like "we need to talk" and "what do you want for your future," I listened the way you listen to a suspect explain away fingerprints. Her mother stopped offering me seconds at dinner. Her sister unfollowed me without unfriending. Invisible gestures, coordinated, quiet. I realized then that this wasn't a marriage ending. It was a planned extraction. I let the house feel normal. I kissed her cheek. I bought gifts. I laughed at jokes that weren't funny. At night, while she slept with her phone under her pillow, I ran searches. Phone records, shell companies, a trust fund routed through her father's name. I didn't rush. Rushing is how amateurs ruin good endings. The man she was seeing wasn't a secret for love. He was a witness, a placeholder, someone to justify the paperwork when it arrived. What they didn't know was that I'd spent the last 10 years doing quiet work for loud people, that my name wasn't on buildings but on decisions, that the money they thought they were circling had already moved weeks ago. I rerouted everything into a holding structure that didn't recognize marital claims. Perfectly legal, perfectly timed. I waited for Christmas because they did. The confirmation arrived on my phone while she was in the shower. DNA reports, financial summaries, emails forwarded automatically to an account she didn't know existed. There was no single explosion of truth, just a series of clicks. I watched the steam crawl under the bathroom door and felt nothing. When she came out wrapped in a towel, I asked one question. Did you think I wouldn't notice? She froze. Not denial. Recognition. She sat down hard on the bed. Tried to speak. Failed. I handed her the tablet. She scrolled. Hands shaking. I can explain. No, I said, calm, almost kind. You can stop. Her mouth opened again, closed. I went back to my book. So when Christmas dinner came, I was already finished. The black card wasn't for payment. It was punctuation. The waiter knew the name. The uncle knew the watch. The father knew, too late, why his lawyer stopped returning calls last week. The 5 words were simple. Sir, this table's covered. Not by money, by ownership. Silence spread like a spill no one could clean. My wife finally looked at me. I met her eyes. Nothing there. Her father's laugh collapsed into a cough. The applause died mid-gesture. I stood, buttoned my jacket. Enjoy dessert, I said, and left them with the bill. I didn't feel victorious driving home. I felt precise. Vindication isn't loud. It's accurate. I packed only what I needed. The house would be sold by morning, the accounts frozen by dawn. By February, someone would be homeless. It just wouldn't be me. I turned off the lights and walked away without looking back. Some endings don't burn. They go cold and stay that way forever.